Let's go right to the phone right now and talk some baseball with Damon Brucs from KGMZ The Game in San Francisco. We've been going around the NL West all week long, and Damon is going to talk to us about the San Francisco Giants. Damon, is there anything to this every other year thing? The Giants have won 3 out of the last 5 World Series, but the 2 years in between, not so good. So do you believe in jinxes, or do you believe in streaks like this? Do you believe in whatever's going on here?
You know, I really don't, because one of the things about this Giants team is even in the seasons where they've won World Series, they didn't look like a champion was coming out of spring. I mean, they really don't. This is a team that's found a way to be a lot more valuable than just its individual parts when it comes together. But what I do think they're going to have is some realistic holes to fill that they might not have this offseason. Pablo Sandoval's gone, and that takes an awful big presence from their lineup. Michael Morse didn't have a very stout season throughout the entire year, but his hot start helped the Giants get off to a hot start last year, and he is now out of the equation. And I think we've got a taxed pitching staff that's got a lot of question marks after Madison Bumgarner, who paid the highest tax of all pitchers in baseball with all of his postseason innings last year. It'll be interesting to see if they can do it, if they can pitch it, if they can catch it. They'll be in a lot more games than they won't be, but I think they're going to have trouble scoring runs, and there's no doubt they have the least intimidating outfield in all of Major League Baseball.
Damon, this is Woody, and you just brought up something that nobody's going to ever score many runs in that stadium. So I think that if the pitching staff were to come around, and that's a question mark, obviously, that there'll always be low-scoring games in San Francisco, unless you can correct me. But because of the moves the Padres have made, and they're suddenly now a factor rather than just a doormat in the division, and the Dodgers being picked by some as the number 1 team in baseball. I wouldn't agree with that, but it seems like it makes it more difficult for the Giants, since the Giants tended to lose more than they gained.
Absolutely, Woody. I think that the Padres are a big reason why the Giants were able to get fat in their own division in years of success, and it's going to be a lot harder this time around because they've got a much better team now. I also think the same equation's sort of in play for the Oakland A's, who got really fat on the Houston Astros over the last couple of years. The Houston Astros all of a sudden are going to look like a major league team this year, and I think keep Oakland from reaching the fat win total that they were able to. The division got better around them, and this team got a little bit older. And a big part of their performance is Hunter Pence, and he doesn't start the season with his team. He's got the broken hand that he's got to come back from, and Angel Pagan is a popped hamstring waiting to happen. I mean, we're talking about an opening day outfield that could be Travis Ishikawa, Gregor Blanco, and Nori Aoki, which is not an awful lot, to scare pitchers in the National League West. So it's going to be a station-to-station baseball team. They're not built with an awful lot of speed at all to play station-to-station baseball. They're going to have to hit a lot of line drives, and you're going to have to see Buster Posey and Brandon Belt and Brandon Crawford, guys that have been dependable, really have monster years for this team, I think, to look anything like a contender.
Hey, Damon, as I was watching Game 7 of the World Series, Giants and Royals, and being enthralled with the performance by Bumgarner, I was also saying to myself, I wonder how all of this taxation of his arm, so to speak, is going to affect him in the following year. I'm wondering how he's looked in spring training. Does Bumgarner look strong?
He does, Les. He's a guy that is just, he's got that body type that makes him look strong, and he's got such an easy, lazy delivery that it looks effortless, but there is effort, even in effortless-looking things. And, if he has a year where he puts 250 innings on his arm again like it was nothing, and he's looking at 20 wins, and he's got an ERA under 3, I mean, he's an alien. He really is. I mean, something time does catch up. It is undefeated, and he's still a young guy. He's still very strong, but you just have to look at the logic. He had over 50 innings of work in the postseason alone. I mean, that's basically a quarter of a major league season after a major league season. So it's got to catch up with him, and when you look at the rest of this pitching staff, there are big questions behind him. How does Matt Cain come back from Tommy John? Tim Hudson and Jake Peavy, have they got? We have one more seasons in either one of them. I think they're huge question marks. Tim Lincecum has been a giant question mark since he was winning Cy Youngs. You don't know what to expect, and chances are you won't be able to no-hit the Padres automatically anymore. So, now you're looking at Ryan Vogelsong, Yassermo Petit, a couple of guys that could be, 6, 7 starters being 3rd, 4th starters if things don't go right for Hudson and Peavy. So a lot of moving parts, and I know that Bruce Bochy was very upset. This team did play with a malaise throughout spring training. They've got the A's in town tonight. It's the preseason Bay Bridge tune-up. They've got 2 in San Francisco. They'll play in Saturday in Oakland, and then it all starts for real. And I don't think Bochy's too happy with the way this team broke camp.
Damon, let's shift to an optimistic side. The Giants still have the dog-ass Rockies and the dog-ass Diamondbacks that they're going to feed on. And the other point is, I do trust in your manager and your general manager. And they seem to always manage to get as much as they possibly can, even in the alternative years, out of this squad. So, that seems to me to be the upside, that you still got 18 or 19 games, if you're the Giants, that you go, we could beat the Rockies every game. And you also have the Diamondbacks. So even though the Padres have gotten better, there's still some trash at the bottom of the division.
There are, but it's funny. Arizona seems to play San Francisco well. Arizona's always been like a thorn in the side of this team. Colorado, I agree with you. It's going to be a long season there, and I think that's something that the Giants do take advantage of when they get there. They'll hit their home runs in Colorado because the air is rare. Bochy is a mastermind. He keeps this team on an even keel. They don't get too high, they don't get too low, and he might be the best bullpen manager in baseball modern history. He's almost that good. He really is. So, he's going to, every lever he pulls is going to have to be the right lever. They're going to have to stay healthy. They can't afford to have Buster Posey hit a long DL stint, or Brandon Belt even in that regard. What kind of year is Joe Panik going to have? It is a full season of Major League Baseball. We haven't seen a full season out of Joe Panik. What will he look like as an everyday second baseman? And I can promise you right now, the team you see on opening day will not be the team you see come after the deadline. Brian Sabian will be sifting through the bargain bin, and he does a very good job in the irregular pile at the outlet store. He doesn't get the big name, but he gets the name that fits for him.
Damon, really appreciate your time, and we hope to see you when you come in with the Giants. What's your Twitter handle? People can get a hold of you.
You can get me at Damon Bruce anytime. Thank you very much. Les, Woody, it's a pleasure to join you. Thank you.
All right, Damon. We'll see you during the season. Damon Bruce.
You got it.
Of KGMZ The Game in San Francisco, talking about the Giants. All right.